states made similar offers to them?
It is my understanding that we were in a competitive process, as we often are when we make these kinds of transactions.
And if I could, since there's a lot of items here, I understand item F was removed from the agenda, but the move of Global Atlantic Financial Company, they're moving from Simsbury to Hartford, and we're giving them $1 million in order to move whatever that is, 10 or 15 miles. What was the...
So DECD does not provide financing to companies for moves. We do provide financing to companies when they're expanding. As you can see, they are expanding. I think it's 62 jobs. I have to get to that page. And so they could no longer stay in their current facilities and needed to make some leasehold improvements and other capital improvements in the new space that they wanted to occupy and create the new jobs. So that is the reason that we're providing some support for this investment. And of course, their investment well exceeds our investment.
And the one above that, Section I, the ASML-US in Wilton, Connecticut, again, I see that we're going to provide them with another $7 million grant. Is that correct? And that goes towards them creating and retaining jobs?
Yes, this transaction, which is creating 525 new manufacturing jobs in Wilton, allows the company to earn grants after they've created and retained jobs for a period of time. And so the jobs will be coming to them over the next 5 years as they expand their space and invest in new equipment.
Was this another example of a company that came to the state saying they were going to move out of the state unless we gave them money?
This is a great example of a company that has many places they can do manufacturing. And so while I don't think they would have left the state, I think there's a very good chance they would have decided to put their manufacturing into another state, either here in the Northeast or perhaps in other parts of the world. This is a Dutch-based company with operations all around the world. So in this case, I think because we are making these investments alongside of them, which again will pay back to the state well above the dollars that we're investing, we think with that incentive it got them to decide to put that additional manufacturing capacity here.
And with this Section K, the aquaponic fish farm that we're giving $1 million for, I see they're only creating 18 jobs, and that's only over a 3-year period for $1 million. How did we come about with this grant amount for this company?
This one is one that's been under discussion with us for probably 3 years inside of DECD, and I think you'll see as you look at the more recent transactions that we've done that the dollar amount per job, if you will, which is one of the metrics we look at, has come significantly down from this type of investment. But because we had been talking with them a very long time, and because of their the way in which they were structuring their entire transaction, this one made the most sense. So we did. They are putting in twice as many dollars as we're putting in, as you can see from the write-up. But we felt this one was a decent investment for us, even though, if it had come in today, we might have underwritten it slightly differently.
Well, I understand that, but today would be the day that we're actually approving the money coming out the door. So, perhaps we should have structured it differently at the end of the day. Thank you for your answers. Definitely very helpful. In the past, and I believe I opposed the AQR capital management, the first tranche that they got from the state as well. I mean, my concern is that we're paying for the build-outs of their facilities, and I understand that they need to grow and that there's ways to do that, and they could operate in other states. But what I don't want to see is state taxpayer money going towards shades and blinds and carpeting at a hedge fund that controls $220 billion worth of assets. So it seems like something that they are certainly capable of paying for themselves without state assistance. Similar to the move of the company from Simsbury to Hartford, they're a spin-off of Goldman Sachs, from my understanding. They're capable of paying for this move themselves, and I'm not exactly sure why the state needs to be involved in that kind of transaction. And then with the aquaponic fish farm, I understand the build-out of it, it's 18 jobs. We're giving them $1 million. It's going to be a facility where they take the excrement from fish and put it on rosemary and basil and then sell the vegetables. I don't know if we're going to get that kind of return on investment on fish excrement to the tune of $1 million. So I have concerns about a number of these items on here, and I'll be opposing them here today. Thank you, Governor.
Sure. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, Senator.
Thank you, Governor. Through you to the Commissioner, a question about